What up, everybody? We're back out here and we're headed up to US 36 Raceway today, which is a little 8th mile track up north. I've been there a million times. If you haven't seen the old videos, go back, check them out. There's a bunch of videos from this track, but we're taking the Mustang today. BK's chilling. Yeah, Mustang's going today, and it's still on the lift. It is 11:30. I think it's 11:30. I have to leave in an hour, and the car is still on. There's stuff hanging out from underneath of it. I've got stuff on the floor because I got to fabricate. Or the gates open at 4. Race starts at 6. We want to get there early so we can get a good spot. And then we might not get a good spot because, like I said, we got to leave in an hour, and this thing's still on the lift, and I still have stuff to do to it. I had to put a new alternator pulley on it because on the dyno I noticed it was losing battery voltage over like 5,700 RPM. So I put a bigger alternator pulley on it to see if it'll move where it makes voltage, move it up in the RPM some. It might not charge as good at low speed, but that's kind of the trade-off there. I'd rather charge a little less at idle and then charge more at high RPM, just for the sensor side of things and pumps and all that stuff needing voltage. I am not prepared. I'm being rushed, or I feel rushed. I'm not being rushed. I feel rushed because I told myself at the beginning of this week I was going to make this race, but I've been super busy with everything else, and I haven't had time to touch this thing. So I'm going to get this stuff done. We'll get it down on the ground hopefully here in the next 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to get into it, and then we'll see you in a minute. Locked and loaded. Staing. It's going out for her first outing. Gonna shake her down, see what happens. All right, so we made it out here. There's a bunch of cars here. Quite a few big name cars I've seen. A few other YouTubers. I can't think of what the name of their channel is, but I seen their car over here. They got a big rig, parked sideways and all that. It's a Mustang of some sort. But anyways, we're here. We're gonna go get teched in, and we got a little bit before we start time trials or test passes. Got her all cleaned up. Should be going up to make the test pass here in a minute. So they're doing the driver's meeting for the King 28's race. Garrett, you're slow. But yeah, so we'll see what they do as far as run order. All right, guys, so yesterday's well, we're back from the track. It's the next day, and I didn't have any of my cameras with me, so everything I've got for this video was all done from cell phones, from people around. I was in such a hurry yesterday. I didn't grab any cameras. I didn't really honestly plan on videoing any of it. I wanted to originally, but I was so rushed that like when we got everything loaded finally, and I was already like an hour late leaving, actually about an hour and a half late leaving from when I wanted to leave, I was just like, man, I just got to get in the truck and go. So I didn't know where my cameras are at. I wasn't sure if they were charged or not. So I was just like, the hell with it. I'm not going to grab any of them. So all this was with just cell phone stuff. So it's probably going to be pretty short. Car did really well. Oh, dang it. I already got a chip in the bumper. That was probably from when we were loading it. Kind of nice things. The car did good. The first pass the car did, all this stuff was on 7 pounds of dome pressure. It made 8 pounds of boost. I don't know how much power that was. Not a lot, maybe 600 horse or something. And only thing I had changed or played with was the two-step launch stuff. As far as RPM, I think all 3 passes I had 7 pounds on the dome, and depending on RPM, obviously it changed how much boost it would make. With the first pass, it made like 5 pounds. Second pass, we bumped it up a couple hundred RPM. It made like 5.5, 6 pounds, and then we bumped it up a couple hundred more, and it made 6.5 pounds. So, the first pass, car ran like a 7.0, just spinning the tires. It drove out of the groove a little bit and spun the tires, and I just didn't like it. And every time I tried to get back in it, I was already out of the groove. I wasn't back in the groove yet, so if I tried to get back in it just knocked the tire off of it. So it was like 7.0 at like 70 mile an hour or something. I think I got out like the 330 because I pedaled it so much. Second pass was better. We went to the left lane. I always have better luck in the left lane there. And man, look at this. It's like little patch of gray hairs here. Good golly. I can't pluck them because I started plucking them and now there's more of them. I'll have to do something about that. Jeez, I'm not that old. Crap. But yeah, second pass, car went a 625 with like a 140. Well, here, I'll pull the time slips out. I got time slips in the car. I'll just show you. Like I said, it did really well considering the minimal amounts of boost this thing has. That one is... Where's the first pass at? Yeah, this is the first pass. Let's see if I can do this, because I got my camera backwards, and you can't flip it when you're recording. Yeah, it was a 704, 79 mile an hour, 146, 60 foot. So, I mean, it's 60 foot is decent on the first pass. And then, surprise, I think it was only on like 3,500 RPM there. And then the second pass here, number 317, went a 143, 60 foot, so got a little bit better. And we added a couple hundred RPM to it, and 105 mile an hour, 625. And then the last one here, yeah, it was a 621 with a 5. It shows mile an hour at like 71 mile an hour. That's not right. And honestly, I don't know if you're gonna be able to read this. I think it's gonna be flip-flop. So I might have to flip the video whenever I show this. But yeah, I went on 139, 60 foot, and then a 398 through the 330. And yeah, that last pass, in typical MRE fashion, I short shifted the shit out of it. The last pass, I short shifted it at like 6,200, and that was no bueno. Oh yeah, and for that matter, the first pass I left in first gear, and the second and third pass I actually left in second gear. I did second gear leave on the second and third pass. It seemed like the first pass, the gear in this thing's so short, like it's almost like it upsets the suspension, because the suspension on this thing's pretty wore out, honestly. It needs new front shocks real bad. The backs seem okay, but the fronts are toast. They make so much racket. If I'd had an in-car camera going on this thing, you would have heard all the noise coming out of this front suspension, which is partially why I didn't turn it up, because I didn't, I needed to shake the car down. I needed to hear all the noises and the quirks and, see what was going on. Because a lot of people were like, "Oh man, you only went out on 8 pounds, why don't you turn it up, you wuss?" It's like, sorry guys, you don't get in here and just put it on the, on kill the first time you've ever drove this thing at the track. If you do, you're an idiot. That's not what you do. You'll put somebody in danger, put yourself in danger. And it's not a smart thing to do. You definitely want to creep up on it. You don't go out there and try and do no hero shit and try and, set the world on fire your first time down the track with a brand new car. You just don't do it. It's not smart. But in doing so, the way I do it, I noticed there were some issues. So there was no sense in turning the car up because it wasn't going to perform the way I needed it to set a number. So there was no sense in leaning on it, because you're just going to set yourself up for failure and disappointment, because it's not going to run the number you want, and that's just going to suck. And then everybody's going to be like, "Man, you had 30 pounds of boost in that thing, and that's all it ran," So you're doomed no matter what you do. You can't please everyone. But I was pumped, 620s on 8 pounds of boost, for the first time out. There's plenty of room to grow even on 8 pounds. I think this thing, honestly, it probably would have gone a bottom teen or a high 6.0 on just 8 pounds, which is pretty good, because you figure like 620 is like a 970 or 960 pass in the quarter. This thing won't backdoor nines. It doesn't have the gear for it. So if I wanted to run quarter mile anything, I'd have to change the gear out in it. But yeah, I was super pumped with it. We're gonna get it back in the garage. Got to change some things, make some adjustments, and sort out some stuff. But super short video, not real detailed, just kind of a basic track video. But I'll get some things buttoned up on this thing. We'll get this thing back out, and I don't want to say it, but it's gonna go pretty fast. Pretty fast is a relative term. You can't just say, well, it's pretty fast to you, but it's not pretty fast to me. To me, it's gonna be pretty fast. So I'm pretty pumped about it. I can't wait to drive this thing again after we fix some stuff. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep following along. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. Keep watching these videos. We got some stuff coming up in the works. Wintertime's getting closer and closer and closer, so we got to try and get to the track as much as we can. So we'll see you guys at the track.